Hello, everyone. Good evening. I'm going to talk to you tonight about something that you probably don't know a lot about, and that is your pet can actually help save your life. Amazing, but very, very true. "20 seconds is a long time. So this is actually a real headline from msnbc.com. I can basically assure you that we are not, as veterinarians, pushing pets to help with cancer research by making them work in our labs, as this cartoon depicts here. The real story is that animals that live in our homes actually get the same diseases that you and I do. And I know that all of you have seen similarities between folks, maybe not you, but people you know actually have a striking resemblance to their pets. But this is scientifically and biomedically very important. We need a bridge over what is popularly referred to in the biomedical community as the valley of death, which is where very promising molecules that are discovered in the very well-funded end of this pipeline by NIH and other big pocket funding sources die. And so before they can get developed, they need a bridge. Well, you probably recognize this as the Buck-Carnes Bridge, which is a physical bridge between parts of our campus here in Knoxville. But what you may not realize is that it actually bridges research. And that is a very, very unique thing in that it bridges the folks that are at the UT Medical Center. I'm one of those people that splits their time between the UT Medical Center, which is a thriving patient care and very amazing center for research in certain diseases, specifically those that relate to amyloid-related disorders. And it also bridges the College of Veterinary Medicine, which I also have an appointment at. And that is a state-of-the-art facility that has a shared mission between researchers and clinicians within the vet school and also within the medical center. So it's a logical bridge between those two parts of our campus, and thus that part of biomedical research. You may not know that the University of Tennessee was the inaugural member of the Comparative Oncology Trials Consortium, which is housed within the Comparative Oncology program at the National Cancer Institute. This consortium executes clinical trials that take those very promising molecules and translates them into real therapeutics that help people with cancer. So your dog, if your dog were unfortunate enough to get cancer, could actually help save your life someday. We, within the College of Veterinary Medicine, recruit animals into clinical trials that study these therapeutics and help them outperform other therapeutics that haven't been put through these rigorous trials. This is a bit of a wow image, but you may look like your pet physically, but you also get the same types of cancers that your pet could, and vice versa. This is malignant melanoma, which kills thousands of people every year, and for which there are really no effective long-term durable therapies. This is squamous cell carcinoma, which you may know is very highly linked to tobacco product use in humans. The causes are less clear in animals. They've been linked to additives and chemicals and canned foods and other processed pet foods, but we really don't know why animals get this disease. But we do know that they are a logical and relevant model. One of the things that our group does is uses PET, which was highlighted earlier in the glowing crystals presentation, a non-invasive molecular imaging technique that highlights cancer, and it is very commonly used to detect and track prognosis and response to therapy. PET has been applied in both preclinical models of disease that are mostly murine and rodent origin, but we also use PET to study these promising therapeutics in spontaneous disease models in cats and dogs, ultimately to translate them into humans in a clinical setting. As many of you know, PET has its roots in Knoxville, and we are very fortunate to have Siemens Molecular Imaging here in town. They're an industry partner of ours, and they support a luminary site agreement at the UT Medical Center that allows our group to do this work and to understand what dogs and cats look like with PET. We have published that research, and we've shown that dogs with lymphoma, which kills, again, thousands of people every year, can be imaged with PET, and we can track the response to therapy both before and after chemo. And these protocols can be validated, and then this data can be used to then be applied to other diseases in humans. This particular patient had a metastatic neuroendocrine carcinoma and was treated with a very, very novel tyrosine kinase inhibitor. This dog lived a year with this disease, and that data will help other dogs, and then that data will also ultimately translate into helping humans that suffer from these diseases. We can ask questions in pet dogs that you simply cannot answer, or even begin to ask in humans. This is another example of a dog with a mucosal melanoma, which again is a horrible disease in humans. And this dog benefited from our ability to provide her novel therapy and to track her over time. And we also were able to branch out into other diseases. We've recently studied a fatty acid tracer for the heart to branch out of cancer and look into other diseases that take lives every year, like cardiac disease in humans is a big issue. So we've used cats actually in this situation to assess a new fatty acid tracer in the myocardium and compare back to the standard imaging modalities to say, we can do better. We can actually provide humans with heart disease a better way of being imaged, and we can use companion animals to do that, which is really exciting and not something that is very common these days in the world. But I think it's getting more common, and all you have to do is pick up the Wall Street Journal about a month ago and see that on the front page of this particular section, there's a whole story on how dogs get cancer just like people. This is amazing. And this is also incredibly relevant and important because again, you know, if your dog can get cancer and you get cancer, why don't we link those things together? Because ultimately we can help your best friend, four-legged or two-legged variety, with our work here at UT. Thank you very much for your attention.